What's the most dangerous business to be in? Drugs, arms trading, exotic animals, soft serve ice cream? Oh yeah, ice cream. So good. Gang gang. The sweetest and most innocent of desserts. One bite can soothe your inner child, and without a lactate pill, wreak havoc upon your lower intestine. And what better place to get your helping than from a four-wheeled, blue-blooded, American-made ice cream truck? But what if I told you the world of ice cream trucks actually has a dark and gritty underworld just waiting for an HBO miniseries adaptation starring Giancarlo Esposito? And what if I told you my own father almost went down that dangerous path?
I was 17. I needed a job for the summer, and I saw this ad in the paper for renting an ice cream truck for the summer. And it didn't seem that it cost that much. So I talked to one of my friends, and we decided that we wanted to do it. So all excited, I told my parents, and I saw this look on my mom's face, which basically said, "No, you're not going to do this." And I asked her why. We got into a little bit of a discussion about it. Maybe 2 days later, I came home from school, and she said, "Come with me." And she walked me down the street to a family that I kind of knew. And my parents were friendly with them. And she told me to come inside, and I asked her what it was about. And she said, "Just give it a second, you'll find out." And so we walk into the house, and there was Mr. Now, Mr. If you didn't know him and you looked at him for the first time and somebody asked you what he did for a living, you'd say, "This guy's a mobster." He had the cigar in his mouth, short little guy, deep gruff voice. And so he sits down, we say our hellos. My mom kind of moves to the back. I tell him, "What's up?" And my mom says, "Well, I want you to talk to Mr. about your plans for the summer." And so I told him about the ad we saw in the paper, and he cut me off and just looked at me, took the cigar out of his mouth and said, "You don't want to be in the ice cream business, kid." And I'll never forget it because he didn't have to tell me anymore. I kind of got it. And I was never in the ice cream business.
Don't let his name fool you. Mr. Softy is the furthest thing from soft. Before we get into this bloodbath, let's talk about how we got here. I'll get through this as fast as I can so we can get to the gore and violence that you all came here for. Hopefully you can't tell, but this is my first video, so buying in now, from ground floor, baby. Hop on in. Don't you want to say you subscribed at the first video? That's a pretty cool badge, man. I would tap in now. So anyway, Mr. Softy was founded in 1956 by two brothers, William and James Conway. They were working at an ice cream machine manufacturer, and they saw a huge uptick in people coming in buying ice cream machines to put in their trucks. Putting an ice cream machine into a truck isn't as easy as someone like Exhibit might think. So a lot of these people failed and had to come back for repairs. The brothers decided to try it on their own, and it was a smash hit. Before anyone knew it, the two set off to start their own company, Mr. Softy, which actually has the same logo today. The brand was strong, so to expand, they let people franchise their own trucks, and they quickly spread across the US. Franchising is basically when someone comes and pays the company to use their brand for their own store, or a truck of their own. Growing up in New York City myself, I assumed that all the ice cream trucks around the world were Mr. Softy. I was wrong, but the dapper little sentient cone does have a pretty good reach. There are trucks in 19 states, ranging all the way from Florida to New York to California. Like I said before, I grew up in Queens going to these ice cream trucks all the time. One of them used to park on my street every day. I used to hear the song Out of the Window in elementary school, which let me know that school was almost out. But recently, I was starting to wonder if Mr. Softy was out of business or something, because I never see it in my neighborhood anymore. And once I started doing the research for this video, I figured out why. So basically, if you want to get in on the Mr. Softy action, you got to get a truck, which is about $115,000, and then pay the company a franchise fee, which ranges anywhere from $5,000 to $7,500 depending on which weird, unreputable website you get your information from. It's expensive stuff, and that franchise fee runs for 10 years, and then I would assume you would have to renew it. A lot of the guys who end up buying these trucks keep getting more and start hiring people to run them, setting up their own little depots, and starting their own little empire under the umbrella of the big Mr. Softy. And this is where it all gets really spicy. We've seen enough organized crime media to know where this is going, right? One of the lower level guys starts raking in money, moves up the ladder, and asks, "Why am I even paying these guys anymore? What the hell do I need this bow-tied, goofy-ass looking guy on my truck for? I can move kilos of ice cream on my own. I own this city. This is my block."
I am Queens Boulevard.
Enter Dimitrios Sirkos, my Greek brother. If you couldn't tell by the eyebrows, I've been training my whole life to say a name like Dimitrios Sirkos. Anyway, Sirkos is a former Mr. Softy employee who got tired of giving them a cut and set out on his own. He put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into a creative new name, Master Softy. Look at this yo, let me copy your homework, just change it up a little bit, head-ass logo that they had. Of course, when these trucks dropped in 2013, people started taking pictures of them and putting them on the internet, which led Mr. Softy to sue and win. But that didn't stop the trucks from continuing to operate. They just had to change their name to New York Ice Cream. Today, both companies exist, but not peacefully. In fact, Mr. Softy hired a private investigator, who I imagine walks around in a trench coat, talks like a Hey Arnold character, and can somehow only be photographed in black and white. The investigator's job was to make sure the trucks didn't park somewhere they weren't supposed to, and also, they didn't use the Mr. Softy song. While most ice cream trucks in the world play older, copyright-free music, the Mr. Softy theme song was actually created specifically for Mr. Softy in 1960. Trucks owned by a company called 3DDD Ice Co. were accused of using that song to trick people into thinking Mr. Softy was coming down their block. While I don't know if these trucks specifically said New York Ice Cream on the outside, I do know that that company was registered to the same address as New York Ice Cream. According to court documents, Mr. Softy 1 received $10,000, and the defendant was required to never use that song again. Legal issues in civil court is one thing, but bring your truck to the wrong turf, and you can expect to be surrounded and barricaded by the enemy. Every Mr. Softy driver is said to keep a bat on them just in case. There have allegedly been knives and even guns pulled on people in the name of ice cream. Who knew being an ice cream man was such a dangerous occupation?
Are you in the ice cream business?
Am I in the what?
Whatever you want to call it.
Soft serve.
That's total crap. Who told you that?
Dad, I've lived in the house all my life. I've seen
The trucks parked outside. Diabetic children crying.
I'm in a waste management business. Everybody immediately assumes you're mobbed up. It's a stereotype, and it's offensive. And you're the last person I would want to perpetuate it.
fine.
Grab me one of the SpongeBob ones from the trunk.
I'm not here to tell you that one of these companies is in the right or in the wrong. New York is probably big enough for the both of them. People might be attached to the friendly but oddly soulless face of Mr. Softy, and others might want to root for the smaller guy starting his own company. And honestly, the vast majority of people probably just don't care at all. But like Breaking Bad and The Wire taught me, the most important thing is the quality of the product. So I decided I'm gonna have to taste test them both. Is this entire video just a societal excuse to eat 2 ice creams in a week? Maybe, but let's get into it. So I went to the park near my house and found a New York ice cream truck. I got myself a chocolate milkshake. I vividly remember there being a Mr. Softy truck in this exact location when I was a kid. The milkshake was $10, which is insane, but it was pretty good. Standard stuff. I think it might be marked up because of this location and the view in the park. I took my girlfriend and her friends on a hunt for Mr. Softy later that week. Mr. Softy actually has an app, which at first told us the wrong location. And we walked through the park, and we were about to give up before we heard the song. I got a milkshake for only $7 from Mr. Softy, which came in the classic cup. And I got my girlfriend a strawberry shortcake for $4. So on the cost issue, the big guy is winning. It was $3 more for basically the exact same milkshake at New York Ice Cream. But this study is imperfect because of the difference in locations. I'm gonna have to check the next New York ice cream truck that isn't in a premium location like a park to see if it's still that expensive. Otherwise, the 2 shakes were basically the exact same and both gave me the same lactose-related pains within an hour. So ice cream might be a more violent and exploitative operation than you thought. But then again, what isn't? Should we be protesting all dairy frozen desserts until they bring the Choco Taco back? Yeah. Is it right that a 6-year-old child going for his favorite little treat might have to see his neighborhood ice cream man getting the Sonic rings knocked out of him by a competitor because he parked on 34th Street instead of 33rd Street? Probably not. Is the thought of that enough to stop me from getting a swirly cone the next time I'm sad? No. And competition is probably healthy for the ice cream truck world. It can be hard for these trucks to stay modern, with the yuppie ice creamers like Cold Stone, Van Leeuwen, and Ample Hills showing up in a lot of neighborhoods as well. All I can leave you with is, no matter the company of the truck that you stop at, give your ice cream man a smile the next time you see him. He might be battling deeper demons than you thought.